has been very vague, Mr. Chairman. Would the minister be kind enough to say that this part that he speaks of, plus or minus, would you say it is closer to 5%, 20%, 50%, 75%? Would you care to give this honorable House a figure? What part the City Council is going to play in identifying the activities to be funded by this 50% of this provision here?
I would say, Mr. Chairman, that they will have equal opportunity like any other stakeholder who would say the word.
But, Mr. Chairman, this is the point I was trying to make earlier. The Constitution says that the task of managing and developing the communities are those of the local democratic organ. So here it is, this local democratic organ has been reduced to the level of a single stakeholder. Last night we heard, Mr. Chairman, when the Honorable Minister of Housing and Water was answering questions, we learned that there was one particular program which has received budgetary allocations of $484 million, which is greater than the total subvention to the 71 local democratic organs. And the activities to be carried out, we were told last night by the Honorable Minister, it's there in the project document, is to improve drainage in the environment. But yet the Constitution tells us that this is the responsibility of local democratic organs. But yesterday we learned that the Ministry of Housing will fund it to the tune of $4 million. Today, $500 million, again under the minister just said, he's engaged 3 of his colleagues, 3 ministries, and as an afterthought we heard that the local democratic organ will be engaged. So this is an invidious practice, Mr. Chairman.
Honourable members, I put the question and that is that we assent to the sums stated for program 133 regional development, capital expenditures, Ministry of Local Government. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against, the ayes have it. These are agreed to. Minister, please note the line of questioning you received. I think that members will have put you on notice that monies, particularly for the project, the $1 billion project, will not be, those monies will be carefully scrutinized. Because we all have a vested interest in how it is spent, where it is spent, and we're also very concerned indeed about the right of local democratic organs to manage their own affairs as per the Constitution. So that is something that I believe you would have taken note of. So I wish to thank you and your technical officers for their support. I know that they were waiting this last evening. And thank you very much. We still have to do 10 regions. But thank you for those who your assistance. Honourable members, we will commence the review of Region 1's estimates. So while the officers get into place, I ask you to turn your attention please to pages 264 and 265. And sometime honourable members, Mr. Bassett will assume chairmanship of the proceedings at a convenient moment. But we will Minister will indicate when it's ready. You are? Honourable members, I propose your consideration the current expenditure estimates for region number 1, Barima Winey, program 711, regional administration finance, to be found at pages 264 and 265 of your volume 1. And so the question is proposed for your consideration. I recognize Ms. Africo Selma.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, line item 6114. Could the Honourable Minister indicate the designation and emolument for the new contracted employee, 6116?
Mr. Chairman, it is the typist clerk. salary. 43,137 dollars.
Mr. Truffle, sir?
Council Chair. 6211, expenses specific to the agency. Can the minister say if there's been an adequate amount of money budgeted under this head for RDC councillors to be able to monitor the work of the RDC, and can he say, if yes, can he say what is that amount?
Mr. Chairman, of course, the issue, the question of adequacy has to be tied to available resources and how we need to divide up these resources among competing uses. What I can say is that $3.234 million is set aside to provide transportation and meals to bring councillors to meetings, take them to and from. And there is a further $1.6 million to paying stipend to councillors, and that has to be added. There is lubricant maintenance of the outboard engine, the vehicles that move the chairman and councils around. That's $1.482 million.
Follow-up question. Sir, we are concerned in this house about the inability of the councillors to do the work in the regions. And the work entails monitoring, partly entails monitoring the projects that are carried out within the RDC, within the regional administration area. I want to know, sir, if there has been money set aside to allow councillors of Region 1 RDC to be able to embark on a program of monitoring the works that are being carried out and that will be carried out in the regional administration on behalf of the people of the
Mr. Chairman, you would recall that I earlier reported a sum of money to move councillors to meetings in the communities where they can get feedback, they can see work that is taking place, they can interact with the people. Also, I am of the view, and we shared with councillors, that they must work with the other programs. You cannot confine yourself and think that your role as councillor is limited to attending statutory meetings or committee meetings. You must be aware of the visit to the education officer and his people in your community and be able to piggyback and move with them. You must be aware of the movement of the agriculture officer. In short, we could not just confine ourselves to performance at the level of meetings or limit ourselves to the use of the regional resources. The village councils are always eager, happy to have councillors. Not true for your side, but it happens with us. They're always happy to have us. And you need to do that.
Mr. Chairman, let's be serious about doing work in the region. Let's be serious about how it is the people's money is being spent in those regional administration bodies. The councillors who are elected by the people must be in a position to monitor the work on behalf of the people. And it is the duty of the regional administration to provide their money to ensure that those councillors are able to do their work. And it brings me to another point. Can the minister say How many meetings of the RDCs have been budgeted for, has been budgeted for Region 1 for 2014?
Mr. Chairman, there are councillors who sit on the Works Committee of the IMC, and they do visit projects. There are councillors who are not on the Works Committee, but they have the interest in people's development, so when the engineers are going out to visit projects, they go with them. When the sub-treasury officers are going out to visit projects, they go with them. So they don't limit themselves to RDC visits to projects. Okay? So when you look at that, there is nothing that precludes councillors, whether you sit on the education committee or not, being able to move around with people from the education team visiting community, visiting projects. I know that this happens because I interact frequently with all 10 RDCs.
The question was, put that Mr. Troutman. You haven't, I don't think that's been answered, Mr. Troutman. How many meetings for the RDCs have been budgeted for the year 2014?
6 meetings. And that is for, yes, this RDC 6.
I recognize Ms. Selman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, line item 6281. We observed that in 2012-2013, no budgetary allocation was made. However, in 2014, we noticed a sum of $11 million. Could the Honorable Minister say what has influenced this budgetary provision and the name of the security company that is going to be hired?
Thank you very much. Security used to be covered under public works, but as of this year, 2014, it's covered under the particular program.
And the company, sir?
Strategic Action Security Service.
Same old PPP.
Ms. Ridolo and then Mr. Felix.
Between like item 6111 and 6117, could the Honorable Minister say which category the regional councillors for? And are they still, which category they fall under? Are they senior technical contracted employees? And is their monthly stipend still $10,000?
Mr. Chairman, if I didn't capture all of the issues raised by the honorable member, I ask that you please share. I know she did inquire under which specific line item
Yes.
councils received their stipend. The answer is 6211, expenses specific to the agency.